Greetings one, greetings all. Well, apparently there's people out there that think YouTube is not for channels like mine, a vlog where you can come on and talk about things and express feelings and emotions and whatnot. It's supposed to be people jumping motorcycles over skyscrapers and instructional videos on how to fix your flashlight and stuff like this. Well, I remember when YouTube first came on the scene, and it wasn't a tech school or a entertainment source. It was actually a place where people could create a vlog like my channel is and just kind of highlight their life and activities and things that are happening in their lives and stuff they're doing. Apparently, to certain people out there, it's now morphed into this big grandiose private movie company that each individual can do fancy editing and add music and fly their airplanes underneath a bridge, and that's the only stuff that qualifies for YouTube. I don't know, but I'm going to keep doing things my way because it is a free country, and I served my country in the military to be able to do this freedom of speech thing, so I'm going to do it. But things have changed, and they're topsy-turvy right now, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But update on the weekend. So I went to the lot up north, and when I got up there, I mean, my plan was to blow the leaves off the driveway and to winterize the campsite, the plumbing and all that stuff. And I come rolling up, and great big birch tree had fallen across the driveway. I hadn't even planned on firing up the saw. It's a darn good thing I actually had left the saw up there. But the problem is I had left it without the case. And in the case, the hard side case, in the case is my splitting wedge and my chain file. That's here at home. Needless to say, the saw's home now. So I fired up the saw, and I took video of all this, but I'm not going to post it because I don't have all that fancy editing software that allows me to do fades and clip video clips and shorten them up and eliminate boring sections and keep the good sections where I'm jumping motorcycles over skyscrapers and stuff like that. So I don't have that ability. So I took video, but I've got like a 10-minute video of me cutting up a fallen tree, and you guys would be sleeping. So I'm not even going to bother putting the video up. But so I end up having to cut this tree apart to get it out of the driveway, just so I could get in there. And I had to drag it. I was gonna buck it up into firewood chunks because the tree is actually in pretty good shape. I could split it and burn it and use it for firewood, but I was in a hurry, so I just wrapped the winch cable on the Jeep around the big log after I cut it on both sides of the driveway and just dragged it down the driveway out onto the road and then rolled it down into the ditch. It had rained up there Saturday morning, so all the leaves were wet. So it took forever to blow the leaves, even though I got my leaf blower at the time when I purchased it was the highest wind velocity unit out on the market. It pushes out 200 plus mile an hour winds. does a really good job. But the leaves were so wet, it was like rolling them like a mat. It wasn't just blowing them into the woods. I went through 3 tanks of gas, and it took me well over an hour to do my driveway. I did get the rainwater collection system that I use to supply water for my shower up there. It's a 40-gallon rain barrel with a pump mounted on top, which then feeds into a propane-fired instant-on hot water heater, which then feeds the shower. I did get all that winterized with antifreeze run through all the pipes so that it won't split the plumbing. I got everything done up there that I wanted to get done so I could sleep at night, because right now it's cold up there. I'll bet right now it's probably in the teens, if not pushing the single digits, because my property is located right on the tip of the snow belt, and I get all these prevailing winds off the Great Lakes up in Michigan, and that ends up making way more snowfall in my area and way more extreme temperatures in my area. So yeah, I am comfortable knowing that that's secure up there. Took all day to do it, and it's done. Sucked up a lot of gas to go up and back that I don't really have the funding for right now. My plan Sunday was to put the fuel pump in the winter beater. So I went to the auto parts store Sunday morning to purchase it. And when I got to the store, I realized, well, you know what? This truck is so old. This gas tank in this truck has never been dropped out of the truck. The straps, the metal straps that hold that tank up, I guarantee the bolts are rusted so bad that I won't be able to get it out, get the bolts apart. I'll have to cut it out, literally cut it out with a saw. So I needed a tank strap kit. Now the pump was 200 and something with tax, 203 or something like that with tax. Take a guess how much the tank strap kit was. All it is 2 metal straps. They're not even stainless. They don't even come with the bolts. Take a guess. Over $50 for 2 straps of metal to hold the gas tank in. I'm like, what? Oh, I don't have that right now. I'm tapped out. So the guy talked me into just waiting until next weekend. You know, payday's Friday. Waiting until next weekend, and then just getting the tank straps and the fuel pump then. So I come home and I'm all worried, and I watch the weather because I'm thinking, geez, if we get any rain, if we get any fog, it's going to be so cold this week that I'm going to have black ice on the highways because the salt trucks are not out this early. Salt trucks don't get out around here until after we start getting the first good snowfall on the roads that starts causing accidents. You ever notice that? You're driving down the highway on a snowy day or something like that, and you're all nervous and panicking and whatnot, and there's cars in the ditch all around you, and then you see the salt truck coming down the road. Yeah, they don't salt ahead of time in anticipation of problems. They wait until people start slinging off into the ditches and getting in accidents, and cops are dispatched before they, oh, well, look, get the salt trucks out here. It's pretty bad. Why don't you be proactive once? You all can watch the weather and see we're going to get 3 inches of snow overnight. Get out there. Anyway, so I watched the weather. It looks like we're not supposed to get any precipitation all week. It's just supposed to be cold. So I got my fingers crossed that we'll be good to go. And with my bald tires on the Jeep, I'm not going to have any issues. So, right about the same time that happened, and this is where it gets weird. Right about the same time that happens, I get a message from the diva that she needs my help. Like I said in videos long ago, she's got 2 teenage kids, and they're just getting their driver's licenses. I mean, they're going to be getting their driver's licenses this Wednesday. One of them doesn't want to drive. He would rather walk or take his bike to work. He doesn't want to drive. But the other one, she's all jacked to start driving. And the diva's ex baby daddy, because he wasn't really her husband, they weren't married, but baby daddy, that she raised the kids with, donated a truck for the kids to use as transportation when they got their license. That's pretty cool of him. It was an old plow truck that he had. Trouble is, it's old. It's not reliable. It's falling apart. It's got issues. They couldn't get it to start. They thought the battery was bad, so baby daddy actually came down and put a new battery in it, and they got it running, I guess. But then when they went to try to restart it, it just clicked. Baby daddy lives about an hour away from them, so he can't just keep running back and forth to try to get the truck running. Plus, he probably wouldn't, because he's kind of a asshat. So, I guess he was bitching about what he had to do as far as putting a battery in, and it took him forever to do it. So she sends me a message. I really need your help. Can you come help me get this truck running so I can, so the daughter has a way to get to work starting Wednesday. Since I'd made the executive decision that I wasn't going to do the fuel pump problem on the winter beater, I said, yeah, I'll come down and help you. So I did that. I spent 5 hours in the cold wind working on that truck. Changed a bunch of things around. Got it running. But then when I would go to restart the truck, all that would happen would be the solenoid would click on the starter, and it wouldn't fire. And that's after putting jumper cables on it, because it's parked in a parking lot. It's not parked in a garage. I don't have access to electricity. It's sitting out in an open parking lot. So I'm basically doing a Johnny Redneck repair with a tarp on the ground and tools out of my truck and whatnot. And I got it running. But and I let it run, let it charge up for a half hour, pretty much a half hour. And then when I shut it down, when I went to start it again, all it did was click, 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 click. Solenoid just clicked, it wouldn't start. So I started looking at issues like dirty cables, corroded connections, things like that. I checked voltages on the battery and whatnot, on the starter or on the alternator. The amp gauge on the dash is showing that the alternator, when the unit is running, is putting out 14 volts, so it is charging. 2 front tires were damn near flat. They had less than 20 pounds of air in them. So when I crawled underneath the truck, none of my first fixes worked. Cleaning the cables. This used to be an old plow truck, so it had a bunch of electronic cables and solenoids and things on it that didn't need to be there. So I eliminated all that just to simplify things. Still didn't solve the problem. I finally went down and started looking at the starter. When I crawled underneath the truck, see, I'm used to doing things with a floor jack and jack stands and getting that thing up in the air. I didn't have any of that. So when I crawled underneath this truck, and the front tires were flat, I had hardly any room to move under this thing, and I got wedged underneath between the ground and the frame. The frame was right across my chest here. As a matter of fact, ooh, ribs are a little tender. Manufactured a rib. Inside joke. So I cleaned up the starter, and I've pretty much eliminated and it still wouldn't start. I got it running. I ran it to the gas station, pumped up all the tires, came back. It had run for 45 minutes. Came back, parked it in its spot, shut it down, went to start it again. Click, 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 click. Won't start. Brand new battery. It's one of two things. Either the brand new battery is defective and it won't take a charge, or it won't hold a charge, or the starter itself, the solenoid on the starter, the starting solenoid, is faulty. So the project's still not done. But there's a problem. Remember when I said, and this is where I got to sit here and eat crow. Remember when I said a while back that Mia's daughter had COVID, and if she didn't make it, you probably wouldn't see her again because she would pack up and move back to Florida to take care of the grandkids? You're not going to see Mia again. She left me. Yeah, screaming at your phone. Screaming at your phone. I can hear it now. Ears are ringing. You stupid idiot. What did you even go by the exes for and help her out? You don't do that when you're trying to start a possible new relationship with somebody else. That person's an ex. You eliminate him from your life and you move on. You need to move on. God gave you a gift and you screwed it up. Keep in mind, just for clarification, the relationship between Mia and I was just a probationary period right now. We were just friends, just to see if it would work. And that if each one of us met the other person's qualifications and standards to progress into a full-blown relationship. Kind of like when you have a job and you're on a 90-day probationary period and you decide and the employer decides if you two are going to work out and you have 90 days to see if that's going to work, and if it doesn't, then you part ways. Here's where I made the mistake. When my plans changed from putting a fuel pump in the winter beater to getting the message from the diva saying, I need your help, and I made the decision to go to her place and help, I didn't notify Mia of that plan change. I didn't tell her what I was doing. Not only that, I got so involved in the project trying to accomplish the mission that I didn't have my phone on my hip all the time with the ringer on because I wanted to stay focused on the project, and I knew that Mia was busy Sunday because she had that funeral she had to attend, and I didn't want to be interacting with her and bothering her during that. So I didn't message her all day, pretty much. Toward the tail end of the day, the evening, I started getting text messages and I started getting phone calls, repetitive phone calls from her. But I'm still at the Diva's place. I mean, she bought pizza for supper to thank me for helping her with the truck, and I'm hanging out with her and the kids, and we're talking and whatnot. So I ignored the messages and ignored the phone calls, because in my head that's kind of rude. I don't just say, hey, hold on, I got a phone call here I got to take. It's from your replacement. When I left, I contacted her and we started talking, and she, of course, was worried and wondering how come I hadn't said anything to her all day, and wondered what was going on. So I admitted to her what I had done, how the plans had changed, and where I was at and why I was there. Now, when I first met Mia, in the beginning, she indicated to me, and this is what I found so attractive about her, is that, or one of the things I found so attractive about her, is that she came across as really mature, really self-grounded in herself, with no insecurity issues, and a self-confidence that was very impressive. So she told me straight out she had no problems with me being friends with all my exes. She trusted me. She trusted that my motives were pure, and she didn't have an issue with this. She basically told me, it's your life. She considers some people in my life toxic. She said, it's your life. If you want to keep these toxic elements in your life, that's your choice. I'm not going to force you to eliminate ex relationships from your life. That's not my place. You're a grown boy. You can make decisions on your own, and you can decide what's best for you. As time progressed, and I was using her as a sounding board for conversation about frustrations and things pertaining to the Diva, because keep in mind, the Diva still owns my heart and soul. And I was struggling with that. As time progressed with Mia, pretty soon that attitude changed. It got to the point where I started, if I would mention the Diva or the demon or something like that, her hackles would go up. I don't want to hear about it. You need to learn how to move on. These people are toxic in your life. They're just bringing you down. They're just hurting you. You need to move on and forget about them and be happy. She started to get agitated whenever I would try to talk to her about things I was thinking up here or things I was feeling in my heart. She started to get agitated, so I found myself having to clam up and bottle up my feelings and my opinions and my emotions. I didn't like that, because what she first told me was that she was here to help me with this situation. But her idea of helping me was to try to help me get over them and move on. That takes time. I mean, especially if you're in love with somebody. If you have a soul connection with somebody and a spiritual connection with somebody, you don't flip that off with a light switch. That's what I'm finding out. I'm new to all this. I haven't experienced this. I've only experienced true love with 2 people in my life. I don't have a clue. I don't have a rule book that tells me, oh, yeah, well, this is how it's going to happen. This is what you can expect. You're going to be in love with this person for the next 2.5 years, and any future relationship you have during that period is going to be a struggle because you're having a hell of a time getting over this person. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm a guy. What the hell do I care, right? You know, what's the saying? Hit it and quit it. You know, that's the mentality of today. Come on. Doesn't work that way for me. I'm an emotional person. I wear my emotions on my sleeve, apparently. I'm deep, apparently. So yeah, I'm struggling. She got, her patience wore out, put it that way. So I was through the progression of our 90-day probationary period, and I'm just saying 90 days as a general thing, a probationary period and learning curve and stuff like that. In the beginning, I was getting support. She would let me sit here and talk and vent and rant. Toward the end, she basically indicated she'd had enough. She didn't want to hear about these two people anymore. I should execute them from my life and move on. Well, just because she has the ability to do that with her relationships, not all of us are the same way. And I explained that to her. Of course, she didn't want to hear that. So, here I am. Diva contacts me. I need your help. You're the only person I know that can help me on this. And I drop everything and I go and help her. Now, of course, the minute I see her, there's that pull, there's that connection. The eyes lock, the power is there. It's crazy off the chain. There's no denying that. It's undeniable. It's still there. And it's still 5-alarm fire strong. And we talked about that. She actually finally admitted some things. She admitted that she's been fighting her feelings for me, and she's been fighting my attempts to try to get her to jump into the pool with both feet and just let herself go, and because she has concerns about me. Finances, my attitude, shallow things, in my opinion. My school of thought is, if you're in love with somebody and you have a soul connection and a power like her and I have, you should be able to be comfortable living with each other in a tent, in a homeless tent community, and be just fine, because all you need is each other. That's how I think. Her, not so much. But whatever, I guess we're entitled to our own opinions. So she has concerns. We discussed a lot of stuff when I was taking breaks from working on the truck, because I was working on that thing all day. But meanwhile, I haven't notified Mia that that's what I'm doing. That I'm spending the day trying to get this truck running with the Diva and her kids. Her kids were there. They were happy to see me. They like me. They think I'm the right choice for her. It's just that I drive her crazy with all the questions and about her past and the mistrust issues and stuff like that. Well, like I said, trust is earned. It's not given. You don't just take somebody's word for it that they're doing the right thing. You got to have behaviors that back up what they say and whatnot. So, I damn near spent the whole day there trying to get that truck running. I didn't maintain contact with Mia throughout the day. When I finally do contact her, I'm terrified to actually tell her what I did, because of the behavior she's been showing in the last couple of weeks or so, where conversation about these two people makes her escalated now instead of supportive. But I admitted it. I told her, I said, I was going to put the fuel pump in. I changed my mind on that due to finances. The Diva contacted me and needed help, like legitimate help. So I went and helped her, and I apologize for not asking your permission or notifying you. But this is why I didn't, because I was afraid I would get lashback for doing this. And I felt compelled to do it. Whether I'm in love with her or not is irrelevant. It's a chance for me to help somebody, and I will always put others before myself with a chance to help somebody. Take Phil across the street. He's moved out. He's at his new place now. On the way home last night, he sends me a text message. No, actually, he called me and asked me if I would help him take a look at his refrigerator that's in his place here because it's not running right, and he has sold the house to new owners, and he wants to make sure that fridge is working properly as part of the sale. So I told him, yeah, after work tonight, meet me here. I'll come over there. We'll take a look at it. I could be underneath this turd putting up insulation, which is something I need to do. But no, I'm going to be across the street looking at his refrigerator. Sorry, I like to help people. Mia dumped me. Terminated our situation over this. Her first claim as to why she did it, when we were first talking on my way home, was because I didn't show her respect by telling her how my plans changed and who my plans involved. So therefore, I didn't respect her by letting her know what I was doing. I just kept it a secret. I explained to her why I did that, because I knew she was busy all day at this funeral. We wouldn't be interacting much anyway as it was, and I basically thought I could do something nice for somebody and get away with it. That's how I was thinking. What she didn't know wouldn't hurt her. Instead, and I could have lied. When I finally started talking to her on the phone, and she said, hey, what happened to you all day? I haven't heard from you all day. I started off, it was tempting to do it. I started off saying, well, I had a friend contact me and they really needed help with their pickup truck, fixing the pickup truck, and so I went and I spent all day doing that. And I could have lied about the situation and never mentioned who it was for, or I could have lied and said it was somebody else. But I took the high road and I told her who it was for. And she told me straight up, she said, I'm not mad at you. I'm not angry at you because you went and helped out the diva. You're a nice person and that's what you do. What I'm upset about is that you didn't show me the level of respect by telling me who it was for and where you were going. You could have sent me a message right after you decided that you weren't going to put the fuel pump in the truck. You could have sent me a message and said, hey, plans changed. I'm going to go up to the diva's place and I got to help her get her pickup truck running so her kids have a way to get to work. And I would have been fine with it, she said. So the reason I'm ending this probationary period is because you didn't show me the level of respect by letting me know first. I appreciate your honesty in telling me who it was for, but you didn't show me any respect, so you got to go. 20 minutes later, I mean, there's still texting going back and forth. This didn't happen on the phone. Despite the fact that she's told me repeatedly every day that she hates texting, especially about the serious subjects. She prefers talking on the phone conversations. Never once called me, just did this all through texting. 20 minutes later, I'm hearing about, yeah, I'm going to be the jealous, what did she say? The jealous type she basically admitted that she had a problem, that the real problem was that it was the diva. It wasn't anybody else, it was the diva. So yeah, I screwed it up, and she's gone. So she does have trust issues after all. She was done wrong in her past life by her husband, who cheated on her with her best friend and then ended up marrying this person. So the crux to the matter is she thinks the diva being involved in my life is a dangerous situation, and she might end up in the same situation she was in before. So she's nipping it in the bud before it gets to that point. To be honest with you all, she's another one that I'm not really sure I would have ever fallen in love with. And it would have been another situation like it was with my ex-wife, where I was with the person for 30 years, but never in love with them. And I'm a guy. I don't know anything about this shit, but I've experienced true love, true spiritual connection love, twice in my life. And I know the power of that. And I know how good that feels. And I know how rare that is to find on this planet. And I value that above anything. I value that above all the money that Mia has coming to her. I mean, I would be financially set for life. I value that above the compatibility that her and I had, for the most part. I just want to walk into the room with the person that I'm in love with and just feel that power. It's so intoxicating. And if God sent me a gift in Mia, I'd probably let him down. And I'll have to ask him for his forgiveness. But I will choose true love over anything. And spending a couple of months with Mia, I didn't really have feelings like that for her, and I cared about her. You know, I'd push her out of the way of an oncoming train. But I didn't really see myself ever falling in love with her. And after seeing the diva yesterday, there's just no denying it. It's still there. It's still strong. And I gotta chase it. Even if it's bad for me. Even if she's bad for me. Even if I end up getting battered and bruised and it's not easy. It's a struggle. The struggle's worth it to me. So, yeah. Scream at your phone. Call me a fool. Do whatever. But I gotta follow my heart. and my soul. And if it destroys me in the end, so be it. So Mia's gone. He won't be seeing her anymore. And the diva and I are going to try to work things out, hopefully, and try to make it work. I have her kids' approval on that, I'm pretty sure. I'm going to have to make some changes to myself. To be what she wants in a man. I don't think she's going to make any changes in herself to be what I want in a woman. But you can't win them all. Some battles you just can't win. I can only pray that she does. She knows what I like in a woman. She knows I don't approve of her drinking and her desire to party and whatnot. And I only pray that she values me as much and loves me as much as she finally claimed she did. That she's willing to make some changes to herself so that I'm happy. So it's not just all about her and making her happy. So that's going to be a prayer. If I even have praying status with God anymore. So that's just an update. I still don't have the truck running, so I'm probably going to swing by there today, pull the battery out of the truck, grab my big battery charger out of storage, bring it to the house here, put that battery on the charger, let it charge overnight, and get it fully charged and see if that doesn't allow the truck to start. And see if it keeps the truck running. If the starter is bad in the truck, it could actually cause a short, a dead short, that literally drains the battery. And then, you know, I charge it up overnight on the big battery charger. It's got a full charge. Hook it up. Whum! Truck starts right up. The kid drives the truck to work, sits out in the cold all day long. She comes out to start the truck. Click, 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 click. That's a very real possibility. But the battery is a brand new purchase. It has a warranty. It can be exchanged. So if the battery is defective, which is possible, you can get bad batteries. They're internally shorted out. I worked at a battery store for a few years in my younger days. I know how these work. If the battery is defective, brand new, that's a free exchange versus $200 for a starter for the truck. So I'm going to start with the battery and go from there. Meanwhile, this week, I don't have a fuel pump for the truck. I can't do anything with the truck except possibly get it up in the air and cut the tank out and drop the tank so that it's ready for the pump. So I have a hell day today. I got 8 calls today. So I'm going to try to work a little bit at a time at insulating the rest of these underbelly bays. But I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen tonight because I got 8 calls, and one of them I got to put a whole new wiring harness in a dishwasher. Oh my God, that's a nightmare. So, I don't know how much I'm going to get done on this insulation, but right now it's freaking cold outside, and I can feel it. I can feel the cold coming up through the floor. My feet are cold. Furnace is running. So yeah, my whole world has gone topsy-turvy. But hopefully I can make it work with the diva, because like I said, I value true love and that power and that feeling and that attraction. I value that above all else, including all the riches I would probably have if I was with Mia. So here goes nothing.